All right, good morning, everybody. It is 9 o'clock. Thank you guys for being here. Uh, Looks like we're gonna have another crazy Northwest day today, so make sure you guys are staying warm and getting your work done. So just a reminder, today is our last day of new content. Woohoo! Right? The trimester is almost over. So with that said, make sure you guys check Skyward for any missing work that you have. If you have missing work, right, you're gonna find all of it on Big Ideas. If you guys need help with missing work, please, you can send me an email. You can come to my office hours. I'd love to help. I'd love to sit down with you and get your work done, okay? Just let me know if you need help. We will have 3 review classes for the final exam. So our next 3 classes are going to be going over all the content that we have done since the midterm. So that's what's going to be on the final. So just a heads up on that. All it is exponentials, okay? So we're going to look at how do you graph exponentials, how do you find domain and range of exponentials, how do we tell if it's an exponential from a table, and then is it growth, is it decay, and word problems. Okay, so that's everything that's going to be on the final. So we're going to spend 3 classes reviewing for that, so that should be plenty of time. Your final exam is scheduled on 3/11, so I will give you guys that class to work on it and additional time outside of class to work on it, so that way if you guys are busy that week, you guys can find the time that works best for you. Okay, so with that said, before I move on today, does anybody have questions about the end of this trimester? Does anybody have any questions? So again, any questions about how this trimester is ending? Remember that if you guys did not pass first trimester, that you can pass first trimester by getting a C this trimester. So if you're like, hey, I didn't pass first trimester, if you guys get a C this trimester, you get a passing grade for first trimester. Okay, so if you're like, man, I just really wasn't into this online stuff last trimester and I didn't pass, if you get a C this trimester, I'll give you a passing grade for first trimester. So make sure you guys get on it, right? 80% of your grade is your assignments. So if you can get up to a C, and then you're good to go, right? So make sure you guys do that. And if you need help, again, I'm here. Just send me an email or come to my office hours. So does anybody have questions about that? Anybody have questions about how the end of this trimester is going to look and the incentive, right? That if you get a C and you didn't pass first trimester, that you could pass first trimester, right? So working hard now benefits even past you. All right, so I'm getting no questions so far. So guys, remember, I'm here to help, right? So this isn't a YouTube video yet. So make sure you guys are asking questions, and I'd love to help, but you just got to ask so I can help you. So next up, are you guys doing okay with the homework? Do you guys want me to go over any questions on the homework? So we've already had a bunch of questions on exponential decay and growth. So if you have questions on the homework, I can start off class by going over some homework questions. So if you do, tell me what homework and what question. So you got to tell me what homework though. Okay, so I got one question. So I'm gonna go ahead here and log into Big Ideas, and we're gonna take a look at those questions. And then again, guys, if you have questions on your homework, I'll just do them now because this is our 3rd day going over this, so it's not like we have new content. So I'm going to go here. So I'm in Algebra Extended, Assignments, and it says 6.4 Decay Day 2. I'm going to go View. All right. Just a second. I'm going to make sure. All right. So there is a request to take a look at the second question. So that's this one right here. So we're gonna, let me get rid of this little banner. So just going over, so the second question on the homework that was due right before class. it says we're going to be doing three things. So we're going to be finding A, we're going to be finding R as a percentage, and then we're going to be plugging in 3 for our T. So to do this, right, so if we're finding our initial amount is going to be right here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just write down, right, it does say, so it says decay in it, so we know it's decay. The equation for decay is, oops, I got it right here. Y equals A times 1 minus R to the T, right? So that's decay. So it's really, that's a terrible T, isn't it? There we go. So that is our equation for decay. And you want to have that in your notes, right? Because remember, our final and all our homework is open notes. So notice how the A is out in front. So out in front here is 1,250. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to type in 1,250. And that's going to be it. That's our answer. Okay. Now for the R, it's as a percentage. So I have to solve for R. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, okay, 1 minus R equals, and I'm going to change the color here. I'm going to go green, equals, and then, oops, 0.865. So the reason there is that this is 0.865, right? That's where this is coming from. Okay. So I'm going to solve for R. So I subtract 0.865 from both sides. Oops, 8, and then that's a 6, 5. And then I also add R to both sides. So that goes away, those go away. And when I do this on my calculator, I go 1 minus 0.865. I get that, oops, I'm going to erase that, sorry. I'm going to change color here. I get that 0.135 equals R. Okay, now, so the good news here is I got R, but if we look up here, they want R as a percentage, right? So to get R as a percentage, we just take this and we're going to multiply it by 100. So I'm going to go times 100. Okay, so if we do that and I go over here, is it a 3 or a 6? Where is it, a 3 or a 6? Right here, 1.3, 1.35, that's a 3. And then here, this is a 6. So 1.35 here. So, right, so 1.35 here. And then this is 865 right here. So this is 135. So when I go to type this in, it's going to be 13.5%. Okay. And then all we're doing here is we're taking our equation that we have up here and we're plugging in 3 for that. So here, I'm going to add in a later here really quick. So I'm just going to go boom. Okay. So if I go freeze. So to do that, I'm going to take, so I take my original equation, so 1,250, and then I do, here, and I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can see it. 250, and then 0.85, nope, 65. And then it asks me for 3, so I'm going to plug in 3. Okay, so there's my equation. I type my answer. Now, it says round to the nearest tenth. So the nearest tenth is the first decimal place. So I look to the right of my first decimal, and it's not 5 or higher, so I'm just going to keep it like that. So when I go to type this in here, I'm going to say 809.0, like that. So did that help you guys out? Is there anything I can do to clarify or go back and re-talk about something? And the person who originally asked for that, did that help out? I need you guys. Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, cool. So, hey guys, yeah, absolutely. And again, this is if you guys come to my office hours, this is something that we can do together, right? We can work together and we can do No, 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 it's okay if you're a slow typer. That's totally fine. I just wanted to make sure you were typing, that's all. Cool. So, now that we're on this, does anybody want me to take a look at a different homework problem? Are you guys doing okay, or there was a homework problem that you guys got stuck on? How did I do part 3 again? Okay, so for the third part here, all we're doing, see it says h of 3. So notice here, up here, do you see how it's a t? And down here it's a 3. So what we're doing here, the 3, we're plugging that into the t here. So we're just going to replace that t with 3. So again, notice how, and here I should draw a little, let's get a little color up in here. Or maybe I just do black. Okay. So if I go like this, that t is being replaced by 3. So then anywhere I see a t, I'm going to do 3. So if you look at my calculator, I typed in the equation exactly as it was before. So 1,250, and then parentheses 0.865. And then I replace that t with a 3. Okay. So when you guys, so did that help? So I got questions about the third part and the third one, right? So this is, so finding the h here, that was like the third step. Is that, okay, so that did help. Okay. And guys, thank you. This is how class should be. You guys are asking lots of questions. This is really good. So, do you guys want me to keep going over this one? Would you like me to go? I can go over any homework problem. So, would you guys like me to go over other homework problems? What would you guys like? Does anybody want me to go over any other homework problems that maybe you're struggling with? The third question? Oh, okay, okay. No. I'm with you now. Okay, so let me erase all of this stuff. It's going to just take a quick second. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there we go. Wait, I can't go down. That's, come on. You're killing me. How do I scroll down here? Just a second, guys. I'm going to have to figure this out. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at question 29 then. Okay. So if we take a look at a question 9, it says, write a function in terms of t that represents the situation. So the situation is you have a stock that has an initial value of $100 and it's decreasing at a value of 9.5% each year. So the first thing we have to figure out here is it increasing or decreasing? So it says decreasing, right? So what I would do is in my notes, I would find, hey, I know for decay, that's going to be a times 1 minus r to the t. Okay, so we need to identify what's going to be my a and what's going to be my r. So a is my initial amount. So in chat, can you guys type, what's my initial amount on this exercise 29? So what's my initial amount? Yeah, it's $100, right? So my A is going to be $100. And then my R is 9.5%. But we want to get this to a decimal. So to get that to a decimal, we're going to divide by 100. So I grab my calculator here, and I go 9.5 divided by 100. And I get 0.095. So my rate as a decimal is 0.095. Okay, so all I did there was I took the 9.5%, divided it by 100, and I get this decimal. Okay. So now that I have my A and I have my R, so my next step here is I'm going to plug all of those in. So I'm going to get y equals 100, 1 minus 0.095 to the t. Now, Big Ideas wants you to go ahead and just do that in your calculator. So if I take 1 minus 0.095, oops, not showing my calculator, right? So if I do what's inside here, I get this. So I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to do y equals 100 times 0.905 to the t. And this is what Big Ideas is looking for. Okay. That's what we're looking for. So that's what you do for problem 29, right? So we have to figure out, is it increasing or decreasing? Since it's decreasing, write down the formula for decreasing. We need to figure out the A and the R, right? If it's in percentage form, we want to put it into decimal form. And then just remember with especially decreasing, right? We want to compute that so we get a number. Okay, how did I do what again? How did I get the A? How did I get the R? And then, right, so here I just found the A and the R from the problem. And then I plugged it into this formula. And then all I did here is I did 1 minus 0.095 in my calculator. That's what this is right here. Here I can, maybe it helps if I do a color. So this blue, right, is this. They're the same thing. They're equivalent. Is that what you were asking? Okay. All right. Hey, I'm glad I can help. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that you guys need help with? So again, like we're about 2 weeks away from the end of the semester. So I just want to make sure you guys are getting all your homework done so that you guys can get the grade that you want, right? Okay. So I have a request for homework 5.3. So 5.3, do we know what day for 5.3? Oops, that's not what I want. Which day for 5.3? There's 2 days. So there's 5.3 day 1 or day 2? Day 2, okay. And what question? Three and 4. Okay, so if I go, there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you know what? Since this is before the midterm, I'm not going to go over this. So if you want help on this, we're going to go ahead and do that outside of class because this won't be on the final. So this was what was on the midterm. So I'm just going to say since this was on the midterm and since we're getting ready for the final, I'm not going to help out with this one. So if for this one, you can either send me an email with these problems. You can just type out the problem or join me in my office hours to help because at this point, right, my office hours are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, all in the morning, all before school starts. So 6:35 to 8:50. So if you guys woke up 1 hour earlier, and then we could get all our homework done and you'd be done for the rest of the day. So think about it. You wake up 1 hour earlier, but then at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about your math. Yeah, this is a really old assignment. If I look at this, this was due 1/14. Okay. And as you can see, I have quite a few people who haven't turned it in. Okay. And if you guys aren't turning this in, right, look at the average score, right? So a lot of people are doing really well on it, So if you're not working on it, guys, come to my office hours and we can do this and we can get you to this 94%. Okay. Does anybody have questions on anything more recent? Right? So like not a lot of people turning in their homework. Okay. So if you're not turning in your homework, see, this is why I'm trying to go over this, guys, right? So does anybody have questions from Decay? Does anybody want me to go over this? Because it looks like a lot of people aren't getting their work done. You guys are getting fatigued. You know, you're getting tired of online school. But we got to do this. We only got 2 weeks left. So does anybody want me to go over anything from 6.4 day 2 or 6.4 day 1 for Decay? I'll even do growth, right? So anything from 6.4, do you guys want me to go over? If not, then I'll just make up some problems. All right, so I'm just going to growth, decay. So growth and decay are 2 separate days. So can you guys be, so it's decay day 1 or 2, or it's growth day 1, 2, or 3. I'm holding on. The 222, this one. So this is decay day 1. Okay. So someone's asking me for this one, so I'm going to do this one and then I'll go do the other one. Okay. So on this one, which one would you like me to do? So this is the 222-21 one. Which one would you like me to work on? Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of people want the second one. Okay, like it's crazy. You guys all want the same one, so this is good. So we're gonna work on this one. So this looks a lot like the one we just did. So it says identify the initial amount and the rate of decay as a percent of this exponential function. Okay, so looking at this, the first thing I'm going to look at is the initial amount, right? So, hey, that's fine if you're getting stuck, but what counts is that you're asking for help now. Okay, so what we have to remember, so first of all, can you guys tell me in chat, looking at this, right? Looking at what's inside there, is this growth or decay? So in the chat, can you guys tell me if this is growth or decay? Okay, so I guess it looks like we're still struggling on whether this is growth or decay. So how do we know? If you look at the number inside here, if that number is less than 1, it's decay. So 0.75 is less than 1, so this is decay. So if it's decay, then I have y equals a 1 minus r to the t. Okay. So that means my a term is just out in front. So my a is 240. Okay, that's the amount that I have in front. Now my rate, I'm going to have to do a little bit of algebra. So I'm going to have 1 minus r equals, and then what's inside here? 0.75. Okay, so we're going to have to solve for r. So to solve for r, I'm going to, here I can change my color here. We're going to subtract 0.75. And we're going to subtract r. So the r's go away, and these go away. So I'm left with 1 minus 0.75 equals negative r. So let's do that in a calculator. Oops, you know what? I did something wrong. This is negative r right here. Do you guys see how that's negative r? So I need to add r here. I'm so glad I checked my work. I'm going to add r to both sides. Sorry. So this is positive r. So in my calculator, I'm going to go 1 minus 0.75. And I get 0.25. So 0.25. So that's my r. Okay, but we want that as a percentage. So I'm going to go ahead and just multiply this by 100. So my percentage is 25%.
So if I go times 100,
I get 25. So it's 25%. And I'm going to pause there. How are you guys doing? You guys doing okay with that? And hopefully you guys have lots of practice and notes with this, right? Because everything is open notes. So if you have good notes on this and you see a problem just like this on the final or your homework, you're going to be able to go. Now this last one, okay, I'm going to change my color up here. Notice how the inside of this is now 3. So I'm going to replace the t with 3. So anywhere there's a t, see how there's a t up here? I'm going to replace that with 3. So I'm going to write this out. I have 240.
that's my beginning. And then I have 0.75. And then I'm going to raise that to the third power.
Okay. So I'm just going to double check here. Is that what I have here? Right? So third, going to plug it in. So I just hit enter. And then just really quickly over here, it says round to the nearest tenth. Right? Do you guys see that tenth right there? Oops, I should get a pen. So it says round to the nearest tenth. So that is the first decimal place. So I look to the right and the decimal place, the decimal is 5. So that means I go back to here and I round up to 3. So when I go to type this in, it's going to be 101 and then 0.3. So we're rounding up. So I round this up to the third decimal. So it's 101.3. All right, I hope that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions or comments or concerns there? All right. Okay, so that was that problem. I'm going to go ahead now and there was someone who had another question from another assignment. I'm going to scroll back up. And it was growth day 2. Okay, so I'm doing growth day 2. So in growth day 2, so this is growth day 2, what was your question? So this is growth day 2. Someone had a question here. What can I do to help you guys on growth day 2? Should I do the second one just because we've been doing the second one on all the homework assignments? Would that work for you guys? So what was the date? Okay, so growth day 2 was 2/11. Oh, so it looks like the third question was what someone had questions on. So I'll do this third question, and then if no one else has any other questions, I'll go back and do the second one. So the third question on this, we're going to write a function in terms of t. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to look at is this growth or decay? So it says increases. So that means it's going to be growth. So I'm going to write out the equation for growth. So growth is y equals a, and then 1 plus r, right? So growth is we're adding. So we know our initial amount, and then we just have to get our 12.5%. So if you take 12.5% and you divide that by 100. So we're going to divide that by 100. So you're going to get 0.125. So to write out my equation, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go, okay, so y equals, my a is going to be 210,000. And then 1 plus 0.125 to the t. Now, big ideas might ask you to combine these two. So you can write that as y equals 210,000. And then just write it as 1.125 to the t. Okay, so this is what I would type in to that answer. Ooh, without the y though, without the y, like that. Here, I'm going to erase that. That's what I would type in. Okay. Does anybody else have questions on that? That's a great question that could show up on the final. Yep, you just write the equation. They already have the y equals here, so you just type in the rest. You got it. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead, and this is good review too, right? So like this is all going to be on the final, so this is why this is totally worth it, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do this exercise 11. So I'm going to do this exercise 11. This is the second problem on growth day 2, which was due on 2/11. Okay, so doing this. So it says we're going to identify the initial amount. We're going to identify R as a percentage. And here's the function. Okay, so the first thing, can you guys type this in chat? Looking at this function right here, look inside. Is this a growth or a decay?
So you can just type that into chat.
Just by looking at it, is this growth or decay? All right, so I want more people answering this. So if we take a look at the inside here, is this growth or decay? Oh, good. We're getting people responding now. Thank you, guys. So is this growth or decay? Now, and so it looks like we're starting to get this correct. So we know this is growth. We know this is growth because the inside is greater than 1, right? So this is growth. So I'm going to have, y equals a times 1 plus r to the t. Oh, it sure does say it, doesn't it? Well, I mean, so I'm getting you guys ready. So on the final, it might not tell you. So you just have to look. So we have to get used at looking, right? So how do we know it's growth? It's greater than 1, right? It's 1 plus something, right? So that's how you know it's 1 plus. So this is greater than 1. So a lot of you guys could probably just look at this and see, hey, what plus 1 gives me 2, right? But what's happening here is that 1 plus r equals 2, right? So what's r? R would have to be 1. So if we multiply this times 100, we get 100%. Okay, so let's go and start filling this out. So my A is going to be 6.72. That's my initial amount. My rate is 100%, right? I'm growing by 100%. So that 2 there is 1 plus R. So R has to be 1. And 1 represents 100%. And then if I wanted to get,
when t equals 5,
I'm going to type in this exact equation.
So the equation is 6.72. And then multiply that by 2. And then I'm going to raise that to the
5th power. Okay. So I hit that. And then it says round the answer to the nearest 10th. So the nearest 10th is the first decimal. I look over to the right. And that's not 5 or higher. So I'm going to keep the 0. So when I type this in, it's going to be 215.0. Like that. Okay. I really hope this is helpful for you guys. I know some of you are like, Kreft, I know how to do this. I feel good. But I know a lot of us, right, we're like, hey, we need more help. So I hope this is helpful. Do you guys have any questions or concerns about what I just did? What part do you need make bigger? Does this part need to be bigger? Like that? Okay. Sorry about that. It's hard for me to tell what you guys can see. I can kind of see what you see, but thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Sorry that it wasn't big before. I hope that you guys can see it now. All right. Do you guys want me to go over anything else from the homework, or should we go into practice? So again, any more homework questions, or should we just go right into practice? So when you say, how do I write down the equation on 4, are you talking about the assignment that we're currently on? So when you say, how do I write down the equation on 4, is that the problem? No, the one before. Okay. So I don't remember which one we did before. So what assignment? So is it growth day 2 or so we have growth day 2 and we have decay day 2. So which one? Growth. Here, let me erase all this. So question 4. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if I want to write an answer for this, so it says it costs $4.50 and the price increases by 3.5% each year. So my initial amount is $4.50 and my rate is going to be increasing at 3.5%. So I want to find this as a decimal. So the first thing I need to do is divide this by 100. So if I take 3.5 divided by 100, I get 0.035. So this as a decimal is 0.035. It says that we're increasing. So my equation is going to be y equals a times the quantity of 1 plus r to the t. And then I get y equals 4.50 times 1 plus 0.035 to the t. So I'm just plugging in the things that I know. And then big idea is probably want you to clean this up. So it's probably going to be 4.50 and then 1.035 to the t. So I'd imagine that they're looking for this. I don't know what you mean by just one decimal. So right here, 4.50, that's 2 decimals. And then here, that's 3 decimals. Right. So when I go to type this in, it'd be 4.50 and then parentheses 1.035 parentheses to the t, like that. So just like how I have written.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so we're gonna spend the last little bit doing some example problems. So let me switch my thing. I'm gonna have you guys work on 2 problems. So let's see if I can't zoom in here. It doesn't seem like it's working. Oh, wow. Maybe what I can do. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So I want you guys to do these 2 problems. Okay. So here. I'll get a clock up here. Here, and what I can do is I can make this bigger. There. Ahaha. And I can get rid of this. There. Can you guys see that? Is that easy to see? So I'm going to put up a clock. So it's 2 problems. So I'm going to give us 5 minutes to work on this. Just a second. Yep. So 5 minutes to work on this, and then we'll go over it. Okay. So let me put that clock on. So there's 5 minutes. Here, I'll even move it up here right now. So you got 5 minutes to work. Where is what? This is just, these are just some problems to work on. Yep. All right, here you guys go. I'm going to step out really quickly. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. I am back, so if you guys have questions, please let me know.
That is a great question.
Yeah, I would do this on a separate piece of paper. Yeah. Right. So we should be doing all of this on a separate piece of paper. Yeah. Okay, hey guys, I really wish I could give you more time, but we only have 3 minutes left in class. So I'm gonna have to do the best with what I have.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to speed things up a little bit. So if I'm taking a look at, I'm looking at A. Okay, we know our initial amount is 500, and we know that our rate is 21.3%, which if I divide that by 100, that's going to equal 0.21, no decimal there, 3.
So 0.213.
Okay, so this is going to be a growth. So I know growth is a times 1 plus r to the t. So my equation is going to be 500 and then 1 plus 0.213 to the t. And then to clean that up, I can write that as 500 and then 1.213. So right, and cleaning it up means instead of addition, we just have a number. So there is my equation. Okay, the next part of this is I'm going to plug in 18. So I go 500 and then 1.123. Oops, I wrote down the wrong thing, didn't I? It's 213. And then to the 18. And we should get y is approximately, and I did this in my calculator, I got 16,160.9. Okay. And again, I'm sorry, but we're running short on time. So we're running short on time. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. So the next one, part B. So we are told that we have a car worth $35,000 Oops. So that's my A.
So my A is 35,000.
And it says my rate is we're decreasing at a rate of 12.3%. So then if I divide this by 100, I get that is 0.123%. Oop, not a percent. That's just 0.2123. So we're decreasing, so it's going to be A times 1 minus R, right? Notice the difference. I'm subtracting. So in my equation, I replace A with 35,000. And then 1 minus 0.123 to the T. So again, I'm putting my R there. And then in a calculator, I can just type this. So 1 minus 0.123. So my final equation is y equals 35,000 times 0.877 to the T. Okay, if I plug in 13 to the top, so y equals this to the 18. I'm going to do that really quickly. Oh, not 18, it's 13 for this one. Sorry. So 13, I get y is approximately 6,000. Does it say to round? In dollars, $135.4. So it asked for it in dollars. So there we go. Like that.
Oh, yep, can't see. Went down there. So there we go. So all I did was
Just take this equation, right, and plug 13
in for T.
So sorry that you can't see that really well. It's y is approximately $6,354. Said round to the nearest
dollar, so no change there. All right. So I'm going to end